Bill Grant.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's a pleasure to follow the honourable member for Chesterfield. As a nation, we need to have a fair and balanced approach to the provision of alcoholic drinks, their sale, their taxation and the licensing of pubs. And I'll take this wee moment to put a cautionary remark in. It is well publicised that there are proven consumption levels which should not be exceeded in order to minimise the risk to our health. However, the key is to enjoy it in moderation and, best of all, to be enjoyed in your local pub. Our pubs provide a social meeting place, encouraging people to meet and converse with others in convivial surroundings. Well, the majority of pubs in Scotland are indeed convivial. Some may not be just as convivial, but they're a very important part of the infrastructure. In the United Kingdom, pubs and drink producers are also very much major employers. With approximately 900,000 employees, many of these businesses, and of course the consumer, will benefit from the rates discount of 1/3 for small retailers in England and Wales. And that starts in April 29. But can also add that in Scotland for a number of years we have had the small business bonus, which is of great assistance. But I think neither of the schemes go far enough to assist the pubs. That's in conjunction as well, which is a good thing, with the freezing of beer and cider and spirits duty for yet another year. Thank you very much, Chancellor. I have previously expressed my support for the freeze on duty, given I have grants of Girvan producing whisky and Hendrick's gin, Caledonian bottlers in Cumnock, and a small Air Brewing Company which produces wonderful and excellent real ales consumed and enjoyed by many. And these are in my constituency. But it would be remiss to be Scottish not to mention the Scottish whisky industry. Although we're on beer, it remains a great British success story, and exports are worth circa £4 billion per annum, comprising almost a fifth of the UK's food and drink exports. And duties on alcoholic drinks are forecast to raise around £12.3 billion in 2018-19. And surely, Chancellor, there's a bit of wiggle room there for a bit of kindness to the pub trade.
Will my honourable friend give way?
Certainly.
I thank my honourable friend for giving way. He's making a very good point about the whisky industry, which this government has so well supported by freezing the duty for the last 2 years. And for a constituency like mine, where we have Diageo, we've got Strathern Distillery, we've got a number of distilleries, this really does provide vital support and also support us domestically, but also with our exports. But does my honourable friend agree with me that our pubs don't just supply great drinks, they also supply fantastic food, like the Kirkstall Inn in Dunning, in my constituency, and that food can also bring families in and combined with local music can really make it the heart of the community.
Indeed, thank you very much for that intervention. I totally agree with you, but if I could just add to that, where pubs are great outlets for locally grown produce, and which we can be very proud of in the UK and in particular in Scotland. But as with all good news, there is a negative one. One of my local businesses raised concerns with me about the post-duty point dilution and the proposed ban on this. And I'm aware that it will hit some businesses extremely hard and cost them dearly to maintain their standards, only to fund the exchequer. Where their methods involve this practice, and I ask that the Minister consider whether any flexibility could be applied when the legislation is drafted later this year. That said, and sadly, pubs are still closing. In villages in my constituency, in Patna, we have gone from 4 pubs to 1 over the last 15 or so years. In the village of Drongan, 3 pubs have gone to 1. And sadly, in the village of my birth, Rankingston, we had no pub for many, many years, and it's a sad reflection on the demise of these much-loved institutions. Indeed, in the last decade, almost a quarter of the UK pubs have closed. However, it is not all bad news. In the town of Cumnock, the 1906 bar in the square in Cumnock has just been refurbished and reopened as an excellent eatery and an excellent pub. And a place may well be known to Madam Deputy Speaker is the Kirkton Inn in Dalrymple, which has recently been purchased, refurbished, and is an excellent pub that breathed life back into it, and it's an excellent eatery as well. So, in both these cases, I wish the individuals every success with their business venture. But there are a raft of reasons for pub closures, including lifestyle choices, supermarket prices, and ease of purchase from a convenience store. But despite the temptation of the aforementioned, I very much enjoy supporting my local pubs, but I alone, whilst enjoying it, I can't be the saviour of all the pubs. So we all need to participate in our pubs. If we want them, we've got to use them. And again, the benchmark is consuming alcohol or beer in moderation. However, the rates aspect comes up constantly, and I've been approached by bar owners and publicans in my constituency. Is the cost of rates, despite the good small business bonus scheme, etc., there are delays, and when you appeal your rates, it's ages, it's a long, long time, and these individuals have to find it hard to fund them. And CAMRA, I mentioned earlier in the debate, have long since campaigned to reduce the rates for our pubs, and that's part of the success. How often can we repeatedly punish these wee facilities in rural communities and in towns? They're like the cash cow for taxation, and a whole range of taxation. We need a serious look. And finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, communities still value their local pubs and eateries as part of the social fabric of our towns and villages. I recognise the work the Government has undertaken recently, but I would urge the Minister to continue to recognise the value of pubs. We can't afford to lose many more. The employment they create and the safe, supervised environment they provide for the consumption of alcohol and engaging with others. I believe it's vital that the value of pubs to the local community is reflected in the taxation applied. Thank you very much.
Adrian Bailey.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Can I